ladies, I'm Chef Anna Rossi, and on behalf of the Fresh Market, I want to welcome you to this live shopping event. You guys, this is the spirit of gratitude. This is the season of giving thanks. You know what I'm grateful for is everything in this box. Over the course of this event, we're gonna walk through the ultimate holiday meal. But you know what's really cool is that this is a live shopping event. So even better than whetting your appetite, you can actually shop and do your holiday planning now by clicking on the product links on this link or visiting thefreshmarket.com. It is that easy. So I'm based in Boston. I love the Fresh Market at the Shipyard in Hingham, but I want to know where you're from. I love the Fresh Market community, and I feel like there's so much greatness that's happening at that store, especially over the holidays. This is a live event, so feel free to engage in the chat, share what your favorites are, share where you're coming from. I want to hear from you. Okay, so you guys, should we get into this box? It is loaded. Okay, check this out. So everything that comes in the ultimate holiday meal is in this reusable thermal tote, which I love to keep in the back of my car because it's great for bringing home things even on weeknight grocery runs. The ultimate holiday meal feeds between 12 to 14 people. That's a feast. But you know what? Even over COVID times, my family of 4, when we were gathering smaller, still ordered this size because we love the leftovers. But we also have a family of chefs, so this is a great base to really build on because my mother-in-law, she's still bringing dishes, no matter if I tell her or not. So, okay, let me show you what's in it. Look at this beautiful cranberry sauce. That is like the crown jewel that finishes off that delicious turkey. We have gorgeous green beans that have been perfectly blanched, so they just need that kiss of heat before you bring them to the table. Gorgeous roasted butternut squash, but not just any butternut squash. This one has beautiful pecans in it. Look at this silky gravy. Gravy can actually be kind of difficult to master that perfect texture. They've done it right there. You know what? We're a mashed potato house, and this is so gorgeous. Mashed potatoes is another thing. It's simple, but it's difficult. This has premium butter. They're delicious. They're so fantastic. Stuffing, good as is, but I have a really great tip that I'm going to show you to give you an ultimate shortcut to go along with that dish. Golden buttery rolls that are great to warm up and pass around. We love the ham. We love that on the table. We also love that for brunch when people are trickling in. This one is fantastic. And then, of course, it wouldn't be Turkey Day without the mother bird. And this is fantastic. It's a fully cooked young turkey. So it means it's super tender and it's gonna reheat super, super fast. So I think we should start with the turkey. What do you think? Let me clear off some of this stuff and get the bird going. But in the meantime, in the chat, share your best tips, your tricks, how you make the holiday that much easier so you can really enjoy it, right, guys? That's what it's all about, coming together and enjoying ourselves. Okay, let's cook that turkey. No one is sitting down at the Thanksgiving table until the turkey is cooked to perfection. So let's get this started. What time do you like to put your turkey in the oven? It ranges depending on when we want to eat, and then you have to do the backtrack, but we're gonna drop a poll here. So chime in, let us know when you like to start cooking your feast, especially the bird. Okay, so I have the oven preheated to 325. That's gonna be great for cooking off the pre-baked turkey, warming it up, getting it nice and juicy and tender, as well as the ham. Once those two are finished, I'm gonna raise the temperature to 350 and then cook off the sides and then basically turn the oven off and cook our dessert. Really, I just want to give the pies a little extra heat. So I'm really optimizing the heat in my kitchen for all these great dishes. The other thing that I have laid out is my flavor profile, and this is a really fun way to feel like a chef, especially if it's just for a day, where you're gonna bring in a lot of the flavors that are gonna intertwine through these different dishes. Whether it's a little bit of garnish, a little fresh grated nutmeg or citrus zest, or that little sprig of something green and lively to just finish off the dishes. So all throughout the meal, I'm gonna pull from this plate, and now let's get the turkey going. The turkey's already cooked, but what I want is some really great airflow. Now maybe you have a big roasting baker like this that has come with a rack, but if you don't have a rack, that's no problem. Guess what? We can make one that's actually going to give us even more flavor with some hearty vegetables. So here I have some beautiful ribs of celery I'm going to lay down. I have some great peeled carrots, and then loads of coarsely chopped onions. So I quartered these onions basically. No fuss, nothing difficult about any of this. And this is going to give a little lift so the turkey doesn't sit in its own juice, because this is a juicy bird, let me tell you. But then all that great turkey juice is going to soak and talk to these root vegetables. Maybe you want to pour that into your gravy, add a little extra flavor there, or maybe you use it to moisten the stuffing or the mashed potatoes. It's really a delicious tool that you can use to build flavor to your liking, or not, and just compost it. Okay, so this is fantastic. It's well seasoned. You can see once this hits the heat, it's going to really pop and start to really get juicy and delicious. But right before I pop it in the oven, I'm just gonna give it a little extra blitz of seasoning because it's fun, right? And this is a poultry blend from the Fresh Market that's so great. It has parsley, has a little bit of heat, it has some coriander, some provincial seasonings. It's absolutely fantastic. And then just because I feel like everything does better with that kiss of extra virgin olive oil, we're gonna use that. But this is gonna go in until it reaches 140 degrees. Keep a trusty thermometer right by your side. This is a great kitchen tool to use throughout the day. And it cooks for about 10 to 12 minutes per pound. Okay. Whoop. Just wait how good the house is gonna start to smell. Okay, so I think we need to move on to cocktails. What do you say? So with all this action in the kitchen, I'm a little bit thirsty. What about you? Okay, so I love a great signature cocktail, but we're also entertaining. You may have overnight guests. So think about the morning as well. These are some of my favorite coffee blends. I love the pumpkin spice this time of year, but this is also kind of a shoulder season holiday where we're leaning into the Christmas holidays. So this Christmas blend coffee is so fantastic. It's a dark roast with vanilla, deep spice notes that's very fantastic. When you're walking through the Fresh Market, picking out your details, don't forget to go through the bakery section. I picked out some apple cider donuts that pair really well in the morning. And this would also pair well with mimosas. That goes well in the morning too, right? And then the floral section is so nice. Don't forget those little details. That's what I love about the Fresh Market. I get inspired. I get excited to shop and host for the holidays. So the floral section is so amazing. I like to pick a big arrangement like this one that I found and use that as a centerpiece for some cocktails and some appetizers. And then I had some fun building out with some tulips and roses and some seasonal mums, some lower arrangements that I'm actually going to move over to our table setting so people can really see across. Okay, but let's share with you my signature cocktails this year. I have something that is child friendly, a little bit of a bubbly brew, and then some champagne. Okay, so this will make a beer lover out of anyone, really. I have a salted caramel rimmed pint glass that we're going to add a little bit of delicious pumpkin ale to. So I love salted caramel. It's savory and it's super sweet, and yeah, it's a little bit sticky. I'm gonna generously dip the rim through like this, and then if you want, you can give it a little kiss of cinnamon just to give it that extra little seasonal nod. And then this is a really fantastic welcome to any of your favorite beers. But of course, pumpkin beer this time of year is really a hot commodity and a great way to toast the season. So for the beer lovers, I see you, and this one's for you. Now this one is great with apple cider or champagne, and it's just a little garnish that elevates a simple cocktail. No heavy lifting, it's just a little detail. So get your kids involved and have them help you make these really fun cranberry rosemary skewers. They're as easy to make as they are delicious. You just start with a nice woody sprig of rosemary. You strip off everything but that last 1.5 inches of leaves. And then guys, this is great to mince up and use in your stuffing, finish off with your turkey. Don't let that go to waste. It's fantastic, it's aromatic and packed with flavor. And my kids love helping me. They're 7 and 8 years old, and they love to have those little fingers be put to work just by lining fresh cranberries on this little woody stem, and then to dust them with this little frosty sprinkle of granulated sugar just makes it feel special. So I'm gonna blitz it with a little bit of water, and that gives it a nice, easy thing to stick to, and then roll it through the granulated sugar. And that is so cute, and these are great make ahead prep in advance. But call me a Pavlovian disciple, because there's nothing that makes me feel like I'm really ready to celebrate until I hear the pop of the bottle. Okay, this must be official. We have Thanksgiving and holidays in our sights. I'm toasting to you here too. So this is great also, like I said, to serve with a little Martinelli's apple cider. But the wine section at the Fresh Market is loaded with seasonal picks. And another thing that I love about it, sometimes I get overwhelmed with all the great options. I love their descriptions, and they have those great end aisles and stanchions where they really kind of curated the best of the season for us and then dropped in and oh, cheers. Oh, I must be doing something right. Okay, to go with this delicious sip, we need some nibbles. I better get some food in me. Let me show you these great appetizers. Now, maybe my biggest entertaining tip or reminder is that people will congregate around sips and snacks. So be strategic with where you put these. Maybe you want to create a little space in your living room, set up a bar area outside of your kitchen, or maybe you want to bring everybody in. Maybe you're one of those unicorns that like all that action in this space. But with these appetizers, people are going to congregate around them. They are so delicious. From like that classic charcuterie, cheese, and salami board that we have here with delicious dried fruits. This was a little collection that I got right in that cheese section at the Fresh Market that has this delicious dry cured salami, really delicious artisanal cheeses, and then I just picked up some dried fruit like apricots and black mission fig with a little smear of fig jam to just add that little chefy touch with some of the rosemary that came from my cocktail garnish. It's all happening right here, and this is a really great savory nibble. But you know what? It's the holidays, and so we're gonna treat ourselves to some deviled eggs, but not just any deviled eggs. These deviled eggs will blow your mind. They sell 24 in a pack, so don't be afraid to use a small plate and replenish, so things always look bountiful. But we've amped up the ante with some delicious Pacific sturgeon caviar. We're really gonna go big today. So here I have a little caviar. I'm using a wooden spoon here so nothing oxidizes, and then we're going to add just that nice little dollop of the sturgeon right on the side. Think about it like a little fascinator as a little hairpiece, and then a little blitz of freshly minced chive. Just a little detail, and this is a great thing to take the time to do, so you can pull that in, maybe the mashed potatoes. Utilize some of these garnishes throughout your dishes to just give it that extra little pop and wow factor. And I love that this party platter actually comes with these delicious marinated olives. This is so fantastic and a delicious pairing, maybe for when you open that extra special bottle of bubbles. Okay, so another thing that caught my eye when I was just wandering through the cheese section were these fantastic baked bries. These are oven ready, delicious creamy brie encapsulated in a fantastic puff pastry. This one is a raspberry almond. They also have a bourbon apple pie, oh, with pecan. That's so fantastic. And all you need to do is give this a little egg wash. So this is just one egg whisked vigorously with a fork until it becomes milky and really thin. I'm going to pat this down on all sides. And then here's the secret, kids. We're gonna use the air fryer. I season this heavily with some cooking spray. And then you guys, it's this easy. You're thinking alternative heat sources here. You're not taking extra space in the oven. You're using this air fryer, which you could even put on top of your dryer, out of the kitchen completely, and let this bake off. This is going to take about 15 minutes at 375, and then we're really in for a treat. So let's get that frying. Wow, look how gorgeous this brie looks straight out of the air fryer. This is what it's going to look like. You get that golden, glistening texture thanks to that egg wash. And I have a feeling it is oozy and delicious on the inside. Let's check it out. Crack into that. And I love hearing that snap of the puff pastry when you slice into it. Having a hot appetizer like this is also great if you're trying to pull people outside onto a patio. If we get lucky with a nice day. Oh my gosh, look at that cheesy deliciousness, that sweet and that savory with that delicious raspberry jam and that little toasty almond. Don't mind if I do. Talk about a good pairing right there. Hot appetizer, chilly fall day, that's how you move people through your home. Okay, let's tuck this away and let's get into the sides and fixings. It wouldn't be Thanksgiving with all the great things that come to the table. It's a feast after all, starting with the ham. So one of the things that I love to do at home is utilize different heat sources. So, right, we had the air fryer going, you could put that really anywhere in your house. Also think about other things that you have that get hot, like your barbecue. So this ham, we're actually going to use on indirect heat on our barbecue. It's already cooked. You still want to bring it to temperature. You want it to be delicious, juicy, hot, and melt in your mouth when you slice into it. So all you have to do is add a little bit of chicken stock or water. I like to use a cast iron skillet because it does well on the grill, but also does well in the oven, and it retains a lot of heat. So I'm just going to cover this tightly in foil. And guess what? When you have the grill going, if you're the master of the kitchen, delegate. This is a great thing to do. Give this to your mother-in-law, your husband, someone else, your son. Get them going outside and take advantage of utilizing your team, right? Another thing that I love doing on the grill are my green beans. So today I'm giving myself permission for my green beans to be room temperature. I love how the Fresh Market just barely cooks these. They're still crisp, they're delicious, they have great structure, they're not gray, they stand up straight, and they're snappy. So I just want to give them that kiss of heat. I'm going to throw these over direct heat on my grill, but you could also do this on your broiler or super hot oven like 450, but my oven is really sitting at 350 to cook off these sides. So that's why the grill is a great solution in this case. I'm just giving it a little kiss of salt, and then this is ready for the grill. Use your tongs, work them around. You could use a sheet tray also on your grill if you don't want to worry about anything dropping. But look, when they come off the grill, after a nice preheated cooking surface, you get these gorgeous grill marks. And this is something that just is really happy to be at room temperature, which is great because they actually don't retain their heat for very long. But to make it a little chefy, to bring in some personal favorite flavors, we're going to make a gremolata. Now, a lot of us are familiar with pesto, right? It's a pureed blend of delicious herbs, a little cheese, some oil, but this is a heartier version of that. So it's less perfect, and it has kind of like a really nice, approachable, rustic feel. Instead of basil, which you think of with a pesto, I'm using parsley as my herb base. I'm also going to pull in some roasted hazelnuts. You know, almonds, walnuts, pecans, those are delicious nuts that I love, but hazelnuts for me always make it feel extra special. I just think holiday when I have a hazelnut. And these I found in the bulk section at the Fresh Market. They have so many great things. Just roasting them and giving them that little like nutty essence is a really great way to get these ready for the dish. I have some segmented orange plus the juice, and then for our cheese, think traditionally a Parmigiano, but keeping things really bright, really colorful and delicious. I'm just gonna crumble in some feta, just like that. And then this is pretty much all you need. You can adjust seasoning. Please taste as you go. Don't be shy, have a little tasting spoon close at hand, a little extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of cracked salt is fantastic. And then these are ready. You've checked one thing off the list, which is a really great feeling because there's a lot that we're bringing to the table. So that char, almost think of it also as like an ingredient. You get that like that smokiness, that really great texture, that little bit of crunch, not to mention that visual wow factor that come with grill marks that I think is really fantastic. And then the ham is just gonna sit and enjoy all that residual heat that you've taken the time to preheat on your grill. There she goes. Okay, we gotta make room in the kitchen. Okay, and then the gremolata, look at that color. The orange, the parsley, the feta, really delicious. It's almost like a really chunky, delicious marinade, and then it's just going to be so beautiful right on top there. And something that also pairs really well with the turkey. Think about how all the different components of your meal work really well together. Okay, so this, my friends, is table ready. Let's get something else table ready. I like checking things off the list, right? How about some cranberry sauce? Oh, I love a good cranberry sauce. That's something too that's personal. I know it's an age-old debate. I think that's a good opportunity to chime in the chat. Do you like it canned? Do you like to see those ring molds? Or do you like something where you still see the structure of the fresh cranberries? I think the Fresh Market does the perfect cranberry sauce. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's a little bit jelly, but you still see those whole cranberries. I think this one is going to be for the adults table because guess what I'm putting in there? A little bit of Cointreau. The Fresh Market also suggests a Grand Marnier or a Cran Vodka. That's a great way to also elevate it and just sort of add that twist. Traditional flavor, but make it fun, make it feel special. I mean, it is the holidays, right? This is for if it's for the kids table, you could keep it PG, adding maybe a little bit of crunched pecan. You know what I also like just to say that this is ready to be plated, I'm done fussing with it, is add that final little garnish. So here, because I have the orange in the Cointreau, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little twist of orange peel too. And that's something too, I love pulling in orange in a lot of different ways. I have it with the ham, the turkey, and then now the cranberry sauce. And that's ready for the table. And then another thing that I love that gets passed around over and over around the table are the delicious rolls. Don't forget the rolls. They're so beautiful, and these I think are perfect rolls. Don't you think? They're just beautiful, especially when they come out of the oven warm. But you know what I did this year is I made a compound butter. Do you know I love butter? Do you love butter? This is the holiday for you if you love butter. So we did a compound butter. So we took a room softened butter. I liked a sweet cream butter with a little bit of salt, and I blended in some delicious maple syrup. And I even found this one from Run Amok at the Fresh Market that is a sparkle syrup. And how great would this be also on pumpkin pancakes over the long weekend? We have to indulge in many ways. So this is just going to get a little extra cinnamon, a little pumpkin pie spice, blended in with the maple syrup is so fantastic. And it's another thing, it's like, oh, it looks like butter, and then someone spreads it on that warm, perfect golden dinner roll, and they bite into it and they realize, oh, no, you must have a secret. Well, we won't tell them our secrets at Fresh Market, or maybe you can't. Every family is different, right? But it's really, really fantastic. But now we need to take advantage of getting all these great sides that do well in the oven warming up. So the beans, those are really light. You got the dinner rolls, the cranberry sauce, that's all good. But now we have things that are dense that are going to take a little extra time in your oven. So oven's at 350. Here I have the beautiful roasted butternut squash. I love how the Fresh Market packs in pecans and cranberries, and I'm gonna add to these great flavors. Before it goes in the oven, I'm gonna toss in a few extra cranberries so they have a chance to plump and soak in indulgently all these great flavors that are already in this fantastic base. And just because I'm feeling the sparkly maple syrup, I'm gonna add a little extra drizzle to the top. This is a great holiday. If you have these bakers with lids, use them, because guess what? It keeps things warm and ready, and then when you go to present, it easily pops off, and it's absolutely fantastic. Things that go from the oven to your table just make your life that much easier. But this is ready for the oven. So let me take you over there and show you the fantastic stuffing and mashed potatoes that we have ready to go. Okay, so the Fresh Market stuffing is so fantastic. And when you talk about the Fresh Market helping you eliminate the heavy lifting, like literally everything that goes into a Thanksgiving feast is heavy. The pounds of potatoes, the bread, the sausage, all these things, and it's nice to have everything consolidated. So the Fresh Market's stuffing is great as is, but I'm adding some of my family's favorite flavors to this fantastic base, which is a sweet Italian sausage. With a last name like Rossi, you know you're gonna get a little bit of Italian influence in some of these classics. Another thing that we love to fold in sometimes are chestnuts. These are beautiful chestnuts that are great for roasting. You can also find them already out of the shell at the market. Okay, so I would cover this with foil, give this a little bit of time in the oven, let all those flavors really come together, get some great texture. And the other thing we have is mashed potatoes. Honey, I love mashed potatoes. These have a premium butter that's folded in already. So when this hits the heat, they're just going to start singing to you. They're going to tell everybody at the table that you are the true star of the day. Talk about gratitude. But we're going to take it one step further with a delicious, soft, slightly sweet mascarpone cheese. This gets so velvety, so silky. It's absolutely fantastic. And then a little bit of scallion. So I'm going to fold in the mascarpone cheese, and I actually don't mind having a little bit of swirl because the potatoes are going to really cook down or cook and soften and get really creamy, and then we're going to have almost like this swirl of mascarpone cheese that's going to be perfectly sinful. I'm going to save some scallion to garnish at the top, but I want to fold some into just so there's like a connection between what you're biting into and what you're looking at, because of course we eat with our eyes as well, and we'll have that great presentation. So we'll save some of the scallion for when these come out, and then we're really in business. Okay, and the other thing is a gravy. That's another thing I think that's kind of like cranberry sauce that's really personal. People like it the way they like it. So this is what we have from the fresh market. Can you see how silky this is? Here's my little tasting spoon. I mean, look at that velvety, delicious texture. It's just clinging perfectly onto the spoon. Oh, that is some good gravy. Okay, so this was a lot of sides and fixings. I guess mine maybe be, I don't know what mine would be. Maybe the stuffing, maybe the cranberry sauce, maybe the mashed potatoes. I love them all. But what's yours? We're gonna drop a poll. I wanna know what you go crazy for at Thanksgiving. Okay, we have the gravy. Now we just need the turkey. Let's check on it. Oh, can you smell that through the camera? Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Woo, wow. Okay, this is a beautiful turkey. Now, nothing better than a showstopper like this, right? To call everybody to the table. Like, this is the Norman Rockwell moment where you just take it in, present this beautiful bird, let them see your hard work, or thanks to the fresh market, your easy work, right? Creating something delicious like that. Crispy skin, perfectly seasoned, and look at all of this juice. This is great, especially if you have leftovers. Save some of this in a little Tupperware in your refrigerator to awaken your stuffing, your mashed potatoes, maybe make a great turkey soup with this leftovers. Use that juice, it's very delicious. Okay, but this is also super hot. This just came out of a very hot oven, so let's give this a few minutes and let it rest, and let me show you what I have for dessert. We love pie. Do you love pie? We actually had quite a conversation around pie in our family, what our favorite is, but I wanna know what your favorite is. So we put up a poll. I wanna see what you have to say. This year, we're going classic. I have this beautiful, traditional apple pie. The bakery section at the Fresh Market is packed with pretty much any type of pie you want. Pecan, pumpkin, chocolate. Of course, the classics like apple, and you know what else I found? I found a caramel pecan, no, this is caramel walnut apple pie that looks too good to pass up. The more, the merrier. Oh, and guess what? This year I was lucky enough because another thing that the Fresh Market has, let me pull this out just for you, is the cinnamon ice cream. I was lucky enough to score a pint. This is like the ultimate combination, the cinnamon ice cream with warm apple pie. But of course, vanilla is also fantastic. And then here's another trick, because I wanna keep things warm. The pies are great to keep on that residual leftover heat from our oven, which pretty much at this point we're done. We've warmed up the sides, the turkey, but wrap them in a little dish towel. Keep them cozy and warm and take advantage of that great heat that you got in there before you're ready to actually serve. Okay, so let's put these aside. We'll wait, if we can stand it, just a couple minutes. And then let's break down the turkey. So I grew up with my grandfather. Oh, all this heavy lifting. It is heavy. Thank goodness we have the help of the Fresh Market to take some of the weight off of our shoulders. So I grew up with my grandfather standing at the end of the table with a carving knife, tediously carving the bird while each of us called out what cut we want. Well, you know what I like to do? I actually like to slice it, carve it, cut it in advance, and then present, after I've showed off like the beautiful whole bird, a beautiful platter with all the cuts of meat, the breast, the thigh, the wings, the drumstick already divided. So you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna give yourself time for the bird to rest, about 15-20 minutes. You can lightly tent it with foil so things stay crisp. You wanna keep the integrity of that skin in. But before the holidays, do yourself a favor and sharpen your knives. When you think of carving, typically you think of a big chef's knife, which is of course really important on a day like today, but you get a lot of control with a smaller sized blade like this boning knife. It really lets you work around those bones, really have a lot of control while you move things around. Okay, so this has had a few minutes to cool. I'm not burning my hands to the touch. I'm just gonna keep a nice towel right by my side to keep things clean and tidy. They have this beautiful little plastic bracket that keeps the legs tucked together so all that great juice stays inside that I'm gonna remove, and then I'm going to look at the joints. So here you have the wings, and look, this bird is so tender. It's like literally falling off the bone. I'm gonna use the boning knife to start to guide my cuts. So I'm gonna start by removing the biggest pieces here. Wow, look at that clear juice running through. And then look, the meat just naturally falls open, and that's going to give me a visual clue where I can delicately slice. It takes almost no effort to pull off that thigh meat. I mean, a lot of us have broken down a chicken before. Just because it's a little bit larger, having a bird like the turkey doesn't mean it's any different. The anatomy is the same. And then I'll do the same on the other side. And in our house, my kids actually have become accustomed to going for the drumsticks. So we'll see who gets those first this year. Using my hands, not being shy, you have to really be confident when you're doing this part of the job. You've come this far. Let's make it fun. And there's no shame either in not standing at the end of the table. Feel free, after you've had your moment presenting the turkey to the family, to take a moment back in the privacy of your kitchen. Encourage everybody to start passing around the sides and break down the bird when you have just a little moment so you can really focus, because this is a great opportunity to make things look really beautiful when you bring them to the plate. Look at that wing. That is a wingding if I've ever seen one. Holy moly. Oh my gosh, and it's so meaty and it's so tender. I'm using my hands to sort of do some of the work for the knife, and then I'm just following up, making an incision right at that joint. I mean, can you see how tender this is? Oh, and it smells like we're home, honey. This is so amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and redeposit some of this delicious juice into, talk about a juicy turkey. This is amazing. Okay, so here you have a breastbone that runs down the center of your turkey, and this is where the boning knife really comes in handy, because I can really feel where the blade is touching, and I'm going to follow the bone down, and then you have that beautiful wishbone, right? Woo, we're getting into the hot meat, honey. Wow, that is, we did it. We cooked it through, that's for sure. And then we'll not naturally let things fall off. And you know what? One of my husband's favorite things to do with what will be remaining on the carcass is to put it back in the oven. I don't know if I should even be saying this, and let all these little bitsies on the carcass get really crisp, and that's a really delicious treat. Or you can use this as a great start to like a turkey tortilla soup, where all the little remaining bits of meat on the bone will just flake off into the most superb soup base that you've ever had. Great Friday night dinner. Okay, turn that off. Whew. Hot bird. Okay, let's put that in there for soup later. Have some late night kitchen action, I think, gearing up for a delicious weekend of leftovers. I love it. Okay, so let's plate this up. I have a beautiful round platter that I'm going to use this year to present our sliced turkey. And let's build this board, shall we? Okay, so one thing I want to do is just take this one step further and break down the drumsticks. You can separate the drumstick from that delicious moist thigh meat, which is coveted, but the drumsticks are a really fun piece for kids of all ages to go for. And you don't even need to have to wait for fair season. Okay, so we're gonna break that down right along the joint, just like the thigh meat. And then These I think I'm going to use this year as like kind of an anchor. What do you think? Something like that. And then let's see, you can remove this from the bone or you can leave this bone in. Again, the bones make really delicious bases for soup, and then also this is a nice way to give a little more, extend the volume of the turkey. So nothing's going to waste. What doesn't make it on this platter is going to be used for sandwiches, for leftover Tupperware that I send home with family, and everything will be really enjoyed. Okay, so the idea too is that you want to give yourself the opportunity to be able to slice things. So here we're going to debone it from the thigh meat, and then this is where the chef's knife is really going to come in handy. So once you have that delicious thigh meat with the skin on, bring in your chef's knife and get things ready to slice and fan out on your platter. This is where also a sharp blade does a lot of good work for you too, because it will keep the meat or the skin from tearing, and it allows you to get a really clean cut without stressing. And I like to go about 3/4 of it to 1 inch thick in my slices here. Okay. Ooh, I'm sweating. Let's see, these little drumettes, what do you think? We can go ahead and divide those. So one person gets the little wing, one person gets the drumette, and then the breast meat. That's always my favorite. Look at that, slicing across the grain, a little bit on the bias, really creates that abundant flair when we go to fan this out on the cutting, on the serving platter. Great. Okay, I'm gonna start with the base of the thigh meat. All those great bits, yeah. And then let's get that beautiful, delicious, juicy breast meat. Wow, right up front. And then let's give this a little turn. And then here we have our drumette and our wings. And then let's bring in some color. We have all this great juicy meat. Let's bring in some great color. This year we're gonna garnish our platter with a little bit of pomegranate and loads of fresh herb. But already this looks so mouth-watering and packed with flavor. So here I've gone ahead and halved a pomegranate, and I'm just gonna use my hands to crack it open. I wanna see that raw, rugged edge in there. It gives it that rustic look that's just truly my style, and also takes some of the pressure off. I think pomegranates are really like the gem of the season. And you know what else I like doing is taking some of these arrows and popping them in my cranberry sauce. They give you that extra little burst that's just so delicious. Okay, and how about a little bit more pomegranate in there? Look at the color of that. And then nothing better than loads of fresh greenery to just balance out something that's hot, juicy, that's been taking its time roasting in the oven, but not too much time, thanks to this fresh market bird being pre-cooked with something that's like freshly picked and out of the oven, out of the garden. Okay, so here we have the fresh parsley, and I'm just gonna have some fun zhuzhing it. Sage would also be super yummy. Really any sort of herb, and this is a great way to sort of bring full circle things that you've been using in your other recipes and putting them to good use with presentation like this. But you've got the red and the green. It feels like the holidays. It's so aromatic and golden brown and crispy. I call one of those crispy little wing tips right there. Does the chef get to choose? I think she does today, right? Okay, what do you think? I think she looks so pretty. I think this looks table ready. So here we have our carved, beautiful, pre-baked, delicious young turkey, thanks to the Fresh Market. And I think we should go to the table. What do you think? I better take a pie with me. I'll see you there. Wow, look at this feast. This is amazing. Just a reminder, this is the ultimate holiday meal for 12 to 14 people. And look at the volume. I mean, the table isn't long enough to hold all this delicious food. Okay, let's recap the delicious dishes that we brought to the table today. This is our boneless sliced ham. We garnished it with some orange, some cranberry, loads of fresh parsley. This is just mouth-watering and ready to dive into. Also great for leftovers and breakfast sandwiches tomorrow morning. Our cranberry sauce that we added a little spice with Cointreau to. Our green beans we threw on the grill with that yummy gremolata on top. Our roasted butternut squash with cranberries and pecans. Of course, the gravy. Note that it's next door to this delicious roasted turkey that we broke down. Look at these mashed potatoes. I love these mashed potatoes. And notice how there's this gorgeous swirl of the mascarpone cheese that's just pulling me in. That premium butter has a good partner in crime with that delicious cheese in there. And then the stuffing baked off in that oven. You see it has this beautiful crispy bits with the browned sausage and the breadcrumb that just have that perfect contrast of the moist with that crunch. I'm so excited to be here for that. And then our golden rolls with that little compound butter. There's so many special details and little extra additions that we made to these fantastic dishes. And you know, with the Fresh Market, it is all about the details. Like, what makes those holiday moments are the simple things. Like even these candles. How beautiful are these beeswax candles from Root that I found in the floral section at the Fresh Market. Really everything from ordering that ultimate holiday meal to getting all of those little extras that just let you really let your personality shine through and let your family and friends know that you're expecting them, they're welcome, and you're really happy to be sitting down at this table together. When we were serving up our cocktails, I mentioned I like to do a big floral arrangement sort of to welcome people and then keep things nice and low with these little arrangements here. And I love how we have sort of a theme going with these golden sunset tones with the mums, the roses, the tulips, and even the sunflowers. And speaking of details, I was so excited when I was walking through the Fresh Market and I found these cloth napkins. I just loved them, and they have like some of like a nod to some of course, the seasonal elements, but also my flower arrangements in the back with that sunflower. So here I have some of my grandmother's little napkin rings that I'm just going to fold through there and add a little bit of color to just a simple white ceramic plate. And then a party favor. We have some kids coming this year in our house, and even the big kids love a little sweet treat and something that maybe they can take home with them. And I couldn't decide, so I got some maple leaves, some chocolate turkeys, some turkey cookies, some cookie leaves, all sorts of fun things that just add that little extra color, flavor, and personality. And the great thing is, remember, this is a shoppable show. You guys, you get to like eat your heart out in all the right ways. Get inspired, load up that cart, take advantage of all the thought and care that the Fresh Market team put into your holiday this year. And thank you for letting me, Anna Rossi, be a part of hopefully some really fantastic holiday memories that you'll make this year. I just want to say cheers, and I'll see you on thefreshmarket.com.